Hello everyone, Max Power, and today is Mortal Kombat Friday for me as I'm uploading all my Mortal Kombat collectibles, which is two statues from Pop Culture Shock, PCS collectibles. This is my Reptile. Earlier I uploaded Goro, so if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, go ahead and do that. That one's a long one, sorry. It's just, there's a lot going on with that one. This one's a little bit easier. It's just, it is a 1/3 scale, but there's not much to this one. Goro's had more detail about him. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do another 360 of this character, his face. Now he comes with three switchable heads, including this one. So that's the ninja face. We also have a skull that came with it. So 3 heads altogether. I really like the reptilian head, so I'll display him with that face. That's why I have him initially with that switch out, but I will show you the other heads as well. Let's go ahead and get started here with the base. So, excuse me for a moment as there we go. Sorry there, sometimes it's a little rough to get it off the, there we go. Alright, let's see. Base-wise, oh, by the way, here is the certificate of authenticity. So nothing behind it, just the box. Real nice. Till 245 out of 350. So let's go ahead and start with the base. Alright, there's no, this one only comes with it being power DC or, through the wall. There's no battery option, which is fine. I really don't care that much for the battery. And when it comes to light features, I do every now and then turn them on, but usually if it's batteries, I don't, because I don't want the batteries to get corroded in there. So. Alright, so that's your basic. Not bad. There's some detail on here. I really love what they did here with the eye. So that was a nice little touch right there. Now you have some detail. I think this is supposed to be kind of like a reptilian design. So nicely done. And we're going to get to the top right here. Okay. Now, I guess the idea is that he's standing over maybe a rock of that molten lava, but it's kind of like his green acid lava. So, all in all, I think it was done fairly nice. I do like the when it lights up, so it looks really nice. If I do have to say anything about the base altogether, is that it's pretty basic. I think they could have gone a little bit more with more detail to highlight the character. Usually bases, when they decide to do a little more than just your standard base, the idea is that the base will complement the character. And so in this case, I do like the eye. That does break up the paint scheme of being so kind of plain here. And then up here, with the lighting, it does add that extra touch. However, with that being said, it's this part of it seems to be pretty plain. In fact, really kind of the whole thing. There's no individual colors. There's nothing going on really on this base. About the only thing is the light up feature. And then of course they've added some blood spatter here, which is nice. It's done very well. Actually, just not too bad. But I think my only complaint with it being a little bit too basic or just bland is how they went ahead and did this. Now, I guess the idea that I had in mind when I saw this was that he was standing kind of on rocks, and maybe the lava was flowing through the rocks, and maybe that was the idea they were trying to execute, but it really didn't get done that way. What it appears like, it appears more like these cobblestones are just floating in the lava acid pit, so there's no depth. If in fact, if you get pretty close up to it, it's almost like really just flat across. So I think that was a missed opportunity where they could have added some depth to this and really kind of make it stand out, look like lava flowing through rock, but that wasn't the case. Now, when it's turned on, it does give it kind of that appearance, but as it sits by itself, it's pretty, just there. So, I'm just thinking that what they were trying to get done wasn't really done. It could have been done better. So that's really kind of my only critique as far as the base is concerned. Along with it being a little bit, I think they could add some colors, maybe some moss or just spray some color on it, just to give it a little bit of a break from just this standard gray paint that we have here. This was nice. Maybe they could have done a couple of these eyes in every single one, or maybe in between. So that would have been a nice touch to have a couple of those reptilian eyes, along with maybe some color. So, but it is what it is. And at one point, we concentrate more on the character. So let's take a look at that. This is mixed media, so he does have fabric. I think the fabric is done well. I never got to see the prototype in person, so I think from some of the reviews that I saw, there was some people were talking about the fabric. Again, I don't have a reference to compare to, but I think just as the way I'm seeing it, it looks pretty nice. Just the touch of the fabric, I would say maybe it could be a little bit more thicker, maybe. But you know what? As far as how it lays on the character is fine. So I have really not much to say about that. It's just, it looks good. Okay. The pants, they look fine on him. They're not too baggy. They're not too tight. So I guess that's really perfect. I wish they would have gone with mixed media on the shoes instead of the sculpting. The sculpting's done nice. Don't get me wrong. It still looks good. They do look like boots, but when you go mixed media, as I think I mentioned this in my Goro review, is that I like for them to go all mixed media rather than just having a few things. In this case, unlike Goro, there's more mixed media, so what little bit that they did do sculpting doesn't take away from it being a mixed media statue. Okay, this is sculpted as well. The boots, as I mentioned, are sculpted, but this pieces right here are actually fabric, so it's kind of like that leather feel, and real buckles, so real nice. The hands, okay, same thing. This is resin right here with mixed media right there, so that looks real nice. Same around here. Okay, heading towards the top here. The blood spatter is done pretty nicely. I don't have any complaints about that. I think at one point this spot and maybe this spot and this spot kind of feel like they just dabbed it. It doesn't feel like blood actually sprayed on his clothes. But all in all, looks pretty decent. I really like this kind of, when they get it like this, that looks like, you know, someone just got cut right in front of them and the blood just splashed on their clothes. So that looks a little bit more, in my opinion, more realistic as far as getting into a fight, a bloody fight, than these dabbed on blood spatter that they put on there. But again, when you put it as a whole package, it looks pretty good. See in the back, that looks like a spatter just all over his back. So that's really nice. Alright, as I mentioned, this is the Reptilian switch out. So we're going to go with that one first. And I have to say, the reason I like this one is not only makes the character very different from as far as how I displayed, but they really did a nice job with him. The eyes look real nice. The sculpting, very well done. You have loads and loads of detail here. And probably the most impressive thing is the teeth. You know, you would expect that they would have done kind of just white teeth, but here it looks like they've gone with kind of, let me see if I can get in here, with a translucent resin, or, well, it's got to be translucent resin because they're not plastic. So really well done. The mouth detail is there, down to even what looks like almost a molar back here. So, and the scales. So, really well done. Alright, so accessories, he does come with a couple switch out hands. He comes with some regular hands, so if you want to display his hands without anything, you've got his regular hands. Real nice work on the fingertips. It looks like they're like claws, and it has the blood spatter, so that looks real nice. Mixed media here as well. I have him with the hand that is gripping what's supposed to be his mask. So I think some people had mentioned they would have liked the hood, and that makes sense. He's removing the entire hood and face mask, and all you see in his hand is just the face part. So I'm sure someone's gonna put a hood on there, but as it is, it's okay. Again, it would have been nice if they would have done the hood. That definitely would have made this kind of stand out a little bit more. This is okay. There's wiring right here so you can shape it a little bit when he's holding it. But blood spatter right here, that's really done well. It doesn't look too weird or awkward, and looks very realistic along with his nails. On the other hand, I have the what looks like thing that a lot of people are calling this the goo, and this is the I guess the spit or the acid on his hands. So I like that this is a kind of a translucent resin. I think it's almost the same thing that they used on his teeth. So really nicely done. You get two actual hands, the right and the left hands with the goo as well. So you can display him with two hands with goo or the acid dripping from his hands. So that's really nice. And then here's the other hand, which is on this side. Again, just a regular hand. Really nice detail on both of the hands, really on all the attachments that this figure comes with. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our switch out heads. All right, so our switch out head, here's the Ninja switch out. So, and I will put them on. I'll have to put the camera on a tripod, so then we can get kind of how it looks with all the heads. So, but really nice. You know, the eyes look realistic. You know, depending if he's kind of looking down or looking up, you really get the sense that he's about to get into a Mortal Kombat fight. So skin texture really nicely done. I thought that maybe it would have been pretty cool if he would have had reptilian eyes, but the eyes here look pretty good. From far away. Okay, so that is the Ninja switch out. Along with that comes with what looks like kind of like the Scorpion skull. If anyone owns the Scorpion Ninja, that one is, I believe it's a little wider. This one has more of a kind of a rustic look to it, and it's really nicely done. Just really well done. And they've added the vertebrae kind of a reptile here, so that's kind of a nice touch there. I won't be, even though it's really nice, I won't be displaying this. Just kind of doesn't make sense to me. I know he was, at one point, I think in the playable character, you could take off his mask. He had kind of almost the scorpion kind of look for him, but for me, it's always the reptilian head and the ninja. So this one I'll just keep in the box. Looks nice. I was going to display just kind of laying around here, but because there's really not much going on with the base here, for me to just put it on here looks okay. I'd have to hide that big stump here so you don't see it, you know, maybe kind of like this. I was gonna do that, but still, it's just another piece that could get broken for, you know. So I'm not gonna display it, just gonna put it right back in the box. All right, let's see. I'm hoping I don't need the tripod, but let's go ahead and remove the switch out head. Now inside is where the magnet is. The only thing that's kind of weird is they put fabric around, so when you put his head, it kind of moves around a little bit. It's not stabilized because none of this is magnet. It's just one circle there for the magnet, or if it is, the fabric kind of restricts the magnet from the side, so it kind of moves a little bit. That's a little weird, but all right, let's go ahead with the ninja head. And so let's see if I can get this done with one hand. All right, let's see. Okay, very good. Just kind of have to unfold here a little bit so he fits in the hole. Alright, I think I got him here. Here we go. Let's pull out this fabric a little bit more. Alright, there we go. So after some minor adjustments, okay, this is what he looks like with the ninja head. I'm going to step out a little bit here. like the way it looks here as well with the ninja. Like I said, it's going to be the reptilian head and the ninja head that I'm going to display him in my room. I'm going to go ahead and remove his hand here, and we'll put the goo hand or the acid hand together, and there we go. Gives him a kind of a different look. All right, let's go ahead and switch out his ninja head now with the skull head. Alright, there we go. Hopefully I got it on right here. Let's take a look. Again, with that fabric being, it just feels kind of like it's not in there. But it is, and this one kind of looks down a little bit more. That's just the way it's designed. So it looks like he's looking down. Let me fix his collar here. Since there is really no neck, you kind of have to scrunch it up here a little bit. Alright, there we go. So that's what he looks like with the skull head. Let me move back some. See, to me, even though the color of the vertebrae is different, he just kind of looks like a scorpion with his fiery skull head. So if it wasn't for the green outfit, it just looked like scorpion. So definitely not going to use that head. And I'm just going to go back to the ninja head because that's kind of what everyone remembers him as. The ninja. Fix his collar. Make sure that I'm not tugging at him where since the fabric is in there, if I tug him, his head might pop out, so I don't want to do that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we've looked at some of the accessories, we've looked at his clothing, we've looked at his base. The sculpting itself is done pretty well. I really don't have any complaints as far as his sculpt. And I have the lights really bright, so it may wash out some of the detail. I'm going to turn them down a little bit, but just before I do that, I kind of want to show you the sculpt. If anyone watches any of the reviews out there and has watched any of the other reviews for the other ninjas, Rat Titan did a review on the other ninjas, the Scorpion and the Sub-Zero, and they had a lot to say about the sculpting as far as being not really detailed and all this other stuff. So if you're interested in taking a look at that as far as to compare it. On mine, there is a little bit where I think they could have done better on sculpting. I mean, overall, the skin texture on this one is a little bit darker than it is on the other ninjas. So therefore, maybe the sculpting kind of pops out a little more. So let's take a look. So the delts, not too bad. He has some nice tricep here. You can see the veins. The purple veins, a little bit of coloring that they did right here. On this end, okay, we have a vein, some detail right here. They really did a nice job as far as coloring those veins. They let's see, right in front of you or in hand, they look real nice. They're really well done. like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the lights, because lights makes a big difference. It can, if you have really bright lights like I have, they're great for showing a lot of detail, but a lot of the colors are lost because of that. As you can see from right here, when it's right up against the light, it really kind of washes out. As I bring it to the side a little bit, it just kind of gets a little darker, and the textures look a little bit more vibrant, more colorful. All right, the one thing that you cannot hide here is the muscle here, and I think the Sub-Zero and the other ninja, Scorpion, they failed to give any detail here. So that's kind of a shame. You really don't see it. Obviously, he's wearing this I don't even know what this is, but his clothing here. But when you have this much muscle in real life, when you have this kind of muscle striation, you would have some detail here. You would have some muscle coming off here, and your pecs would be a lot more cut than that. So I don't think they really put too much detail there at all. Really almost nothing here. Same thing on this side as well. It's like they just kind of gave up on this side here. They're like, well, it's going to have fabric, so let's not even bother. But again, if you have seen anybody that's this big and this cut, and they would have a lot of muscle, not only in the pectoral and the lower part of the pectoral, but right around this side here. And there's just no detail there at all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn down the lights a little bit, so maybe we can get an idea of what I'm talking about as far as the details of the arms, the sculpting. All right, so lights are a little lower now. It's not as bright, not as harsh, and maybe the camera won't pick it up, but for sure what I'm seeing here is the arms are now popping out a little bit. So okay, I'm going to be behind the light, kind of soften the light with my own shadow here, and there you go. So definitely light makes a big difference. You definitely can see a lot more of the sculpting that goes on. So well done from this side, at least on this ninja. It looks pretty good. Let's turn it from here. Here we go. But again, if you look to the side, there's no amount of lighting that just shows the failure of detail that they failed to put on here. You know what? I thought this video was going to be shorter, but I guess it wasn't. It's almost as long as Goro. Alright, for our last thing, I'm going to go ahead and put on the light feature out here so you can see the lava effect. Let's go back here if I can find it. Alright, there it is. Okay, it goes in, and it does have a little turn on switch right there. Alright. Okay, I'm going to turn it off so you see the difference. Okay, no light. Pretty plain. Light. Gives it a little bit of vibrant, a little bit more to the base. But again, because it does that, now it really looks like these cobblestones are just floating in what appears to be lava, green lava or acid pit. I'm going to turn down the lights even more, see if hopefully we can get a kind of a good look of what it looks like at night. Hopefully. The one thing I do want to point out is, as I was mentioning, the way they did this is really just flat. There's really no depth. It just looks like these stones are just floating on this pond of green goo, but you can tell. I don't know. It just looks. I mean, it looks cool, but I know it could have looked better. And you can tell that this is just. I think maybe they just kind of added this, or I don't know how they did this, but it's so flat and so, you know, the cobblestones are so in line with the plastic part or the resin that you can actually see the light coming through the cobblestones or the rock, as you can see. I'm glad it's picking it up because there it is. It's right there. That's his foot right here. And here you can tell where they maybe missed a little bit of painting. It's coming right through. So it's just laying right on top. There's just no depth to the rocks and the lava. And the same thing over here as well. Right by his feet. Right towards the back. Luckily, you don't see that kind of speckling around in the actual rocks that are in. Well, maybe I'm wrong. There's a little bit here. So, had this been done with actual resin pieces in there inserted, and maybe the lava just, you know, below the surface of each cobblestone, that would have looked so much better. It does have kind of these little bubbles here, right up there. That's kind of cool. I do like that. I don't know if that's an imperfection, but it does look like little bubbles within the lava. Alright, I think that's pretty much it on the light feature. And lights back on. Alright, and we're back. Get that, and I'll put back his head that I like. Alright, so I guess one last faraway shot here. One last shot at the base. I won't be able to turn it because it's got that the light feature on. So, all right, the cobblestone. I've got the goo hands on there. I really like how they did that. Just looks like this disgusting snot on there. And we're going back to the top. Again, one last look at the switch out head. Real nicely done on the teeth. Side profile. And that's about does it here for Reptile. Any comments, any questions, just go ahead and leave them there, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for spending your time with me, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys. Bye.